人間が弱いから弱いやつは泣くしかないのか。あいつらこの世から駆逐してやる。この世から一匹残らず。
With only 3 chapters left till the climax of the Attack on Titan series, all of us patiently await the grand finale. I thought it'd be interesting to share my own thoughts on what could possibly happen in these last 3 chapters, what's been going on all this time, and when all is said and done, what will have become of Attack on Titan. Caution to the wise, this video will indeed contain some colossal spoilers from the manga. You've been warned. Now guys, if we consider the facts, there are 3 important events that are most likely to happen in the next 3 chapters. Let's start with them. First is Armin's final confrontation with Eren. In the latest chapter we saw him enter the coordinate and then talk to Zeke. Zeke replies, "So Ymir ate you too?" It's interesting how Zeke used the word Ymir instead of Eren. Is this foreshadowing? Who's in control here? Anyways, the reason why I think Armin was called out is because Eren wants to show him all the memories, just like how he showed Zeke, and then ask him, "Now tell me, Armin, what should I do?" Even at this point in the manga, we don't know a major fragment of what Eren knows at this point. Grisha did, but he wasn't able to explain it to Zeke. But you know what's interesting? Even though Grisha saw what happens next all those years ago, he still ended up giving Eren the 2 Titans. He was getting influenced by someone else's will, by Eren's will. Another reason why Armin will have an apparent significant role in these last few chapters is because ever since Levi chose Armin over Erwin, it became evident to him that it is now his duty to lead humanity. And even now, as seen in the latest chapter, Levi states in his own monologue that he didn't pick Erwin and he has no regrets. However, ever since the time skip, we haven't seen Armin do much. It's like his character has sort of become insignificant. But that's just about every other character in the latest chapters, right? Armin knows that it should have been Erwin and hates himself for being the one to inherit the Colossal Titan, even though it wasn't even his own decision. Also, when the decision was made, Eren told the captain how it will be Armin who saves humanity. But back then, Eren didn't have access to all those memories, so his words didn't hold that much weight as they do now. So unless we get a devastating revelation about what's happening, Armin's final confrontation with Eren won't end in his favor. The one who knows everything is Eren, but as his friend, he wants Armin to have the freedom to see everything and then let him have his say in it. That's also why he'll also have a final confrontation with Mikasa before he meets his end, willingly. Then there's a confrontation that may happen between Levi and Zeke. We know that Zeke lost to Levi twice, yet he managed to run away both times. However, it was Levi who actually lost the second, or rather the third battle. His body became a mess, he failed to complete his final mission, and now he can barely see, let alone move. We have no idea just how many times Levi must have wanted to escape this hell and join his dead comrades. And as the cinematic effect of these last chapters continue to put emphasis on Levi's desperation, it's like he is soon to reach his final moment. And Levi already knows that. He has been dead inside for a while, and in these last few moments, he is a burden on his comrades. Is that really an end befitting of Captain Levi? He won't be able to knock some sense into Eren like he always did, but it is highly likely that he ends up coming face to face with Zeke once again. And yet, both of them will be powerless. Levi may very well die in the next chapter, but as humanity's strongest soldier, he will meet an end worthy of him. I think both Armin and Zeke might somehow make an escape from the coordinate after Armin's confrontation with Eren. This will also make Levi's final confrontation with Zeke possible. And then there's Falco's Flying Titan. For now, we'll be focusing on this part and then later delve into some of the other possibilities. But before we talk about it, let's go back to the first episode of the 4th season. In that episode, there was an added scene where Falco talked about how he saw some swords and he was flying around with them. The indication that he had a dream was also present in the manga, but it was very vague. However, in the anime, there was this added dialogue, and it also felt like he was having a long dream. Just like how it happened in the very first episode when Eren was having a dream and he was woken up by Mikasa. Let's remember that at this point, Eren was barely 10 years old, so he didn't have the Attack Titan. Back then, Eren explained how he just woken up from a very long dream, but apparently he could vaguely remember the context of that dream. The same thing happened with Falco. Now, let's address another important point here. Apparently, Mappa can't stray from the manga, not in this case, unless Isayama wills it, that is. And it was him who told them to add this scene to the anime. So this scene was added because of Isayama's will. And then in the recent chapters, we saw Falco's Jaw Titan evolve into a bird-like beast. There had always been theories about a flying titan, and it finally happened. But how did he do it? We know that he figured it out before actually doing it. He explains that he became a titan because of Zeke's spinal fluid. That's also why his titan is showing some characteristics of the Beast Titan. And now that we've seen firsthand how the Beast Titan doesn't necessarily have to be a monkey, I can't believe the second season let out this big of a spoiler in its opening song. Alright, back to Falco. Now maybe Zeke's fluid triggered beast-like elements in Falco's Jaw Titan, and that's why he transformed into a bird-like beast? But what if it was Eren who controlled this event? We all know that Eren has had a lot more significance on the story than we initially thought he had. He is literally controlling the strings from behind the scenes. But is he really? We'll talk about that more in a bit. For now, let's talk about the number of events Eren has been manipulating. First, there is the event where his father Grisha was having second thoughts before getting his hands on the Founding Titan. At that point, Eren didn't travel back in time. He just showed his father the memories of him talking to him from the future. Because both of them were Attack Titans at some point, and we already know that time is perceived differently by the wielders of Attack Titans. That's how he was able to show his father the right memories at the right point. And as for Grisha's reunion with Zeke, that was also done through memories. Now, there are more scenes that felt a little off. First, we saw Eren Kruger instinctively say, "You must save Mikasa and Armin" to Grisha. It is highly unlikely that this scene was there just to arouse curiosity. Then there is the instance where Dina's Titan ignored Bertolt and went straight for Eren's house. Was it also Eren who controlled this event? If there's one thing that we know about Isayama, it's that he never does anything unnecessary with the story. Everything will always continue to connect, even the most minor events later to turn out to be foreshadowing. So what if Falco will become the next Attack Titan? And that's how Eren is making him see those memories, even though at some point Falco was just a warrior candidate. He had a dream, and then when he woke up he didn't have much recollection of that dream. So he can't rule out the possibility that the Flying Titan may eat Eren and become the next Attack Titan. Is that why the Flying Titan happened? To get the Alliance and edge over Eren? But then again, past and future aren't linear for Eren. He could be at the coordinate controlling the past just as he saw it in his memories. Even though this theory makes sense, and it's not the first time anyone is bringing it up, I don't think this is how it'll end. The idea that Attack on Titan will have a Zero Requiem ending seems underwhelming. Falco's Titan, as well as his dream, will contribute to the ending, but it definitely won't end with Eren being eaten. So what is it that's been on my mind all this time, ever since he kissed Historia's hand? Eren's plan has to be something more than the destruction of everyone else but people of Paradise. Because that'll be only his freedom. What Eren truly wants is actual innate freedom. And even though at this point in the series, it isn't about killing Titans anymore, it may very well end that way. If Eren knows what will happen next, and yet it keeps happening, it could be because he wants to save people of Paradise. But what if it's also because he literally doesn't have a choice in it anymore? Eren is not comfortable with what's about to happen next either, yet he knows that he must do it. Just like how Grisha was devastated by the memories he saw, and he begged Zeke to stop Eren, and yet he still ended up giving Eren both the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan. The wielders of Attack Titans are all in a time loop. Why didn't Kruger save anyone else but Grisha? As he possessed the Attack Titan, those soldiers were nothing to him. Did he know that those people will eventually enter Shinigashina, and hence the legend of Eren Yeager will begin? What if all this time, all the Attack Titans were being controlled by someone else's will, and Eren is no different? Maybe it was Ymir who showed Eren that dream. If we look at the chapter names of the first and 122nd chapter, that makes the most sense. But in Falco's case, it was definitely Eren who showed him that dream. And the reason would most likely be a lot simpler than Falco eating Eren. Now let's talk about Ymir. Her character is pretty complicated, and honestly, the more I think about her, the more questions I have. We know that 2,000 years ago, Ymir used to be some kind of slave until she let some pigs loose and the king sets her free. Free into the wild, that is, to be hunted, to be forced to survive alone. However, there she meets the Earth Devil in a tree. The identity of the Earth Devil is questionable because we haven't heard anything about the Earth Devil from the royal family. or anyone else whose words can be perceived as truth. So maybe this story about her getting powers from the Earth Devil are all fragmented over the years, and they are only half the picture. It could have been because of a yet to be explained phenomenon, or it could be because there really was an Earth Devil. If so, who is the Earth Devil? Is it Eren? Hopefully not. Also, Ymir probably explained how she became a Titan to that king. Knowing her, that's the most she must have done. The rest of the history has always been foretold by either the royal family or the nobles. However, even after getting the powers and becoming the strongest human on the entire planet, she still followed the orders of a cruel king who just sits on his throne all day, every day. Why did she do that? This very first king must have been the Fritz. He gave Ymir her last name. It's like Ymir herself has always been a slave and she could never escape her true essence. For someone who let herself be used by the king and all, it's not very likely that she'll be the deciding factor on how it all ends. Now, the titles of both the first and 122nd chapters indicate the connection between Eren and Ymir. Eren is free, or so he claims. He is not free, because if he has access to memories of both the past and future, and he knew how much Ymir has already suffered, then that means Eren's knowledge is even more diverse than what we initially thought. He knows what happened before, what will happen next, and how it all ends. Then there is a little mirror in there saying that he is free. He is like a husk following the will of the future Eren, who has been following the will of the future Eren. Almost like a loop, but then again, there's so much left to happen that the idea of the ending being a time loop also appears to be incomplete. We know that Isayama already drew the last panel 2 years ago, and in this panel we see a man hugging a child. Now, I know it's too early to assume the child's gender, but I can't help but think that if we follow Attack on Titan's art style, this seems to be a baby girl. It can be seen in her eyelashes too. So is it Eren hugging Ymir and telling her that she is free now? Does the everlasting curse of Ymir finally end with this genocide, and the world being free of Titans? If that were the case, didn't Zeke's plan seem more legit? Maybe, but to Eren, Zeke's plan was nonsense. Zeke's plan didn't vibe with his idea of freedom at all. Because even if the world was free of Eldians and even the royal family was killed, as well as the other bloodlines, Ymir will always continue to exist. Now here's something I would like to add. Back when the first king from more than 2,000 years ago existed, he had a whole bunch of slaves, and Ymir was one of them. Then when Ymir died, her body was cannibalized by her 3 daughters. That's the start of the royal Eldian family. But if that was really the start, everyone would have been from the royal bloodline. But obviously, that isn't the case because not all Eldians are equal. So what if Eldians were always a thing and Ymir was just one of them? What if Ymir was just the first Titan and not the first Eldian? So even after Zeke's plan, the curse of Ymir would not have ended. And Eren's actual goal is not to remove the Eldians, but to remove the curse of Ymir. Then and only then will the world, the royal family, Eren's friends, Ymir, and Eren himself will be free of the everlasting curse. So in essence, Zeke's plan may have been brilliant, but it was incomplete because he had incomplete knowledge of everything. But Eren's plan is complete because he has complete knowledge, and he knows what he must do. At this point, Eren is the only one who knows about the actual truth of the past and what will happen in the future. For everyone else, their consciousness is limited. Right now, Eren is a devil, just like how Eren perceived him to be. Everyone wants Eren to be stopped, but Eren still continues because there's a clear, distinct destination that he must reach. And then when all is said and done, Eren will find freedom in death just like how the other Ymir found freedom in death. Ymir Fritz will find freedom in being free from the curse. The world will find freedom in being free of not just the racism, but also the Titans. How will this happen? Eren will continue on with the rumbling. Most of the world will die. Falco's Titan did save his friends from dying, but he won't be able to do much because Eren doesn't seek to be eaten. He seeks freedom. After he exterminates his enemies, he will lift Ymir's curse. The Titans will cease to exist. Gone, reduced to atoms. And once the curse is gone, all Eldians will just be normal people and they'll have no enemies because everyone else is already rumbled. Of course, Eren and the other Titan shifters will also cease to exist if this turns out to be the case. But by that point, Eren will be content with everything because regardless of what happened, he did have his fair share of freedom. In his final moments, he'll hug and tell Ymir that she is now free. Armin and Mikasa will be by his side along with the rest of his friends who are still alive. We'll see the Titans as well as Titan shifters getting dissolved into thin air. The foreshadowed dream of the first episode will also be explained. Freedom from the curse and freedom from the hate of other nations. Peridius will be free in the true sense of the word. He will have attained freedom, but at what cost? In the end, it was only Eren who could have made such a choice, and he did. A lot of things will happen in the last 3 chapters, but no one will be able to stop Eren. And if Ymir was the one in control of Eren, it would have also been revealed in the 122nd chapter, but it wasn't. That's why I don't think the ending of Attack on Titan is going to be like the Zero Requiem of Ymir's revenge on the world. It's about Eren's freedom all this time, and that's what it'll be about until the end. It's just that the price he pays for the freedom of his people is too great. Alright guys, these are some of my thoughts on what may happen in these next 3 chapters. Of course, this is just a theory video. You're all welcome to share your own thoughts about all of this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there some other ending that you think is most likely to happen? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you guys. To think that even though only 3 chapters are left, we still have this many questions. Isayama is seriously a mutant prodigy. Attack on Titan is as genius as ever. I am so looking forward to the actual ending. Let us all see this masterpiece through to the end. Also guys, don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's a great way to earn some good karma from the universe, isn't it? With that said, as always, I'm the Bearded Saiyan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.